So it's good to see you again. Now that
You
we
too.
hung out in person.
I know.
Yeah. Again, really? Again for the second
Right.
year in a row.
Yep.
But yeah, so I just feel like I know you a little bit better, which is just,
Yeah.
it's way more fun to interview people that we've like met in person. I like know you on a different level than just a screen.
I
But
know. It's awesome.
yeah. Anyway, if you could just introduce yourself a little bit, tell us a little bit about you and how you got into the arts and where you're at right now. And we'll do a deep dive on you quitting your day job and doing art full time.
Sure. Okay, so my name's Brianna D'Amato. I'm 28 years old. I live in New York. I went to school for fine arts. I graduated from Stony Brook University. Um, so I took a lot of oil painting classes while I was there, so that's why I'm stuck to that medium mostly. I try acrylics now and then, but I'm just used to blending oils and uh, like I need to try other things, but I'm just stuck on that. So
No, yeah, that's a good thing to be stuck on
yeah.
because I think that's where like the more professional canvas painters use. They're like
Hmm.
big into oils. I don't know.
Right.
I like like a lot of muralists don't even like the latex roll-on stuff, but I do. I don't know.
Right.
So whatever you like to do, keep doing that.
True.
But yeah, yeah. So how like let's talk about how the jobs have been coming to you here lately and really in terms of
Okay.
numbers as well too, like because a lot of people
Hmm.
when they're quitting their day job, they're like, how many jobs should I have lined up, like what should my situation look like, and so let's
Right.
talk about yours, like how busy were you last year compared to this year, how much did you work your other job last year and then compared to this year.
Okay, so I work with my dad in construction, and he just basically was like, whenever you're not busy, pick up shifts with me. And that's how I was transitioning into full-time artist because he was just like, just giving me extra work because I'm like, I don't know if this is always going to be consistent. So it was really nice to have that to like fall back on. And before that, I used to be a server, and that was very tiring at the time for what I was doing. So I would never really want to paint at the end of the day after serving or like at nighttime. I'd just be tired and had no motivation for it. So um, working with my dad was like a great opportunity to just wean into it.
Yeah.
But for a lot of my jobs that I've gotten lately, it's through an app called Thumbtack, which you guys kind of introduced me to last year. And yeah, so I was kind of like iffy about it, but then I was like, why not? I'll just try it out. And so it's been getting me a lot of mural jobs, so it's been great.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, so
Yeah.
anybody that's listening, thumbtack.com,
Hmm.
and you get on, and do you want to explain it about what it is?
So basically, the app gives you leads on certain jobs, and it'll have like other artists will be like kind of in not like competition with you, but the client will be asking like they'll reach out to like four different artists, so you don't always necessarily get the job. So you just have to quickly like reach back out to them and tell them you would like to do the mural for them. So yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know if I explained that well.
Yeah, but basically it's just like a platform where people can
Hmm.
search for like craftsmen, so like muralists and whatnot.
Yeah,
And so,
yeah. So it's not
yeah,
just for muralists, it's for like any type of job. So, but
yeah, yeah. And a lot of people get discouraged because they're like, well, you have to pay for leads and all this stuff. But
hmm,
have you found that it's worth it?
it's so worth it because you make it back and like if you get one job, you make all of that money back and more. So it's
Yeah.
definitely worth it.
So true, and I definitely agree. I just wanted to make sure you were on the
Yeah.
same. But because I think a lot of the times we can do so much for free, like doing the posting on social media completely for
Hmm.
free. But if that
Right.
isn't working for someone, and if somebody's like, I'm showing up on social media and not getting anything for it, maybe try, to pay for something like Thumbtack, or there's some other
Right.
apps. I think Taryn said he was using something called Home
Next
or
door app. Next
Next door
door.
app.
Yeah.
That's what it was. I
I
haven't tried
just
that one.
downloaded that and
Oh,
I have to finish filling it out, but I just haven't had a chance to do that.
okay, yeah.
But
So the Thumbtack and Nextdoor app. So those are
hmm
just for anybody listening. That's like resources that you can do to more put yourself in like a searchable. Yeah, it's kind of like Google for like craftsmen, sort of. You're just like
yeah,
putting
yeah.
yourself out there. Awesome. So how busy were you with art last year?
Last year, so I did the 31-day challenge in January, and that's always like a really good start. So I recommend that to everyone. I sold like half of those paintings throughout the year. Well, in the first month, I sold like most of them, and then throughout the year, like people will reach out and be like, "Oh, do you still have this painting?" So it's like a nice income because a lot of those paintings you do really quick, and then it's just like nice extra money for it. So it's a good way to get started. Um, but wait, what was the question
You're good. You're
again?
good.
Sorry.
You're good. So you started off in January doing the
hmm
31 day challenge. And
Yeah.
how much time did you spend painting last year, and versus working at your other job? And how did that
Okay.
transition?
So last year it was kind of like 50-50. So half of the week I'd be painting at home, just working on my own things, or maybe I'd get like a few commissions here and there, but it wasn't really consistent. But this year I've been having like every week, like somebody new will reach out to me. So it's been like really nice. Yeah.
Oh, that's
So,
awesome. So you basically went from working part-time for
mhm.
about a year, and then when did you I guess go full time? Like when did that happen?
So unknowingly, like the new year, like January, right when we started the 31-day challenge, I just got busy. I think like with posting every day, more people see your work, so then that makes more people reach out to you also. So it's really helpful with that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, and then after that, because I had downloaded Thumbtack, I held off on it because I went to the mural meetup last year, but I wasn't so confident in myself. And then I was like I just have to do it. And then I was lucky. I had this job. It was for a 55 and older community, and they were just so nice. And I was like, okay, it's not bad. So it just like it gives you that extra boost of confidence and everything. So I'm like, okay, I can do this. I can be a muralist. So I've only done like five more now, but it's like great. I love it.
Oh, that's awesome. And
Yeah.
I was talking to Ryan when everybody left this one time. We were like,
hmm
if anybody like has like the angst or whatever that word is, the get up and go to come to a mural meetup, they're gonna be fine. And so like
Yeah.
you guys coming the first year, I was like, you guys are gonna be fine. You'll figure it out.
hmm
Because if you're gonna
Right.
fly or drive across the United States to by yourself, like to learn with a bunch of artists, like you're gonna be just fine. You're
Yeah.
gonna work out, and you did, and yeah. So and that's what you've been
So
doing. You've just
true.
been figuring it out, and
hmm
yeah, that's
Yeah, it's
awesome.
great. So I've just been lucky with like consistency. So yeah,
Yeah. So like doing the challenges has helped with consistency, and
definitely.
you did the challenge from this last. I told him I was going to be on an interview with you. I knew it was going to happen. So I was like,
Hey Ryan.
he was like on his way home. I was like, I'm going to be on an interview with Ron. He's like, okay, like don't come out here.
He's gonna be
I just heard the door open. I'm like, okay.
like he's not gonna listen.
Anyway,
It's great.
um, yeah. So we're talking about uh, so art challenges. Did you do
Yes.
so? Have you done two Januaries in a row so far with the art challenges?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Two in a row. So that's really helpful. I'd say anyone should do that. So.
Okay. Let's think back on like the first time you did it and then the second time. What are the differences there?
I think this time I prepared myself a little bit better. So like prepping canvases beforehand, so you're not so stressed out with everything. Like last
Yeah.
year I had to do like three in one day. I mean I did that this year too, but it was like
Yeah.
a lot easier. So
Yeah, the challenges, I think they really help, especially that one. And then we have a Series 6 challenge coming up. But even
Hmm.
that one, I'm like, oh gosh, it's going to be tight to get all this stuff
Yeah, oh
done.
my God. Like maybe I'll work a little smaller with those. So we'll see.
Yeah, yeah, or something. Or yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So let's just talk about maybe some of the fears that you had going from part-time to full-time or hobbyist to full-time or anything in there. Like it's a very stressful time.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
like you question your abilities, you question if it's possible, you question like all of that. What's something that maybe was going through your head? Because I think other people hearing this, they're going through exactly what you went through right now, and just
Hmm.
hearing maybe something specifically that you went through, they're like, oh, so it might be normal to have these feelings.
Right. Right. So I guess my main fear is just like, will the work always be consistent? Like, will people continue to ask me for paintings and murals? So it's still like a fear of mine, but I have been lucky to not have to face that fear yet. And just, I guess, also just being in charge of everything on your own, it's a lot to handle. And like, I wish I had taken some business classes beforehand, but the Artist Academy has been so helpful with everything, like all the questions, like, oh, should I have an LLC or all those things. So,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
hmm.
Yeah, it is a lot of responsibility, and the whole like consistency or will work constantly be coming in. I think really even for me, like I've always had that same fear too, like in the
Yeah.
back of my head, and I had told myself there's not enough work in Springfield to keep me busy because it's like a smaller
Hmm.
town, and I was like, there's no way. And
Right.
but it wasn't until this past year maybe that I was like, okay, I can kind of let my guard down on that
Yeah.
now. Like it's okay. But up
Right.
until then, I was still because like in winter, it's typically a little slower, and so.
Mm.
But this past winter, I was the only one that was like, okay, maybe I don't have to stress out anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just know it is totally normal, and I think it's just like having just like you said, being on Thumbtack and going after those jobs and posting on social media, and then you just hit this tipping point of like you
Hmm.
have so many referrals from customers that you've already had that
Right.
kind of fills in the void. So if you just
Hmm.
keep posting and keep like looking at Thumbtack and all that plus the referrals, I think that just
Yeah.
like stacks together, and then it just like poof, magic goes away.
Yeah.
Something like
So
that.
true.
So when did you? So I love to highlight the timeline for people. So because a lot of
Hmm.
people would be like, oh, like they've listened to like a couple podcast episodes, or they just joined the group and they just started taking their art seriously, and they're like,
Right.
I want it to happen now, and they get
Yeah.
a little like disheartened when maybe 6 months down the road it hasn't happened yet, and they're like, am I doing
Okay.
something wrong? Like how long did it take you, like from when you were like, I'm gonna try this out, to this past January?
So I think I started taking it seriously in 2018 when I just had made my art Instagram page because I knew I wanted to do this full time, but I just didn't know how. So once I joined the Artist Academy, I think that really helped like push me. I was like, wow, like so many artists are moving forward with this. Like it is possible. And you just have to really push yourself and do everything on your own, like you can't just wait for something to come to you all the time. Like you have to do it on your own. So,
Yeah.
but
So
yeah.
you'd say about 3 years or 2.5 years, something like
Yeah, I
that.
would say like three for
Three.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I
around
think,
three.
yeah. And I think that's a typical time,
Hmm.
but I think what also happens though, and why I wanted to do this series is just to highlight that, because when people go a year really hoping and really wanting, and then after that year they're like, maybe I should reassess and do something else, and I'm like, no. Like
Yeah,
that's like the magic is gonna happen. Like for
I
some people
know.
it's fast, for some people it's slower, and some people it takes a while, because it's like it's almost like you have to get those little bits of luck in there too, along with that
Yeah.
hard work, and it's just whenever they're about to hit. um yeah, is there anything that you've done, like besides the Thumbtack, besides the social media, that you think that has like helped you in that process?
Um, I have signed up for a few art shows, so I think that's been helpful. Like just getting out there, like people just seeing your work and everything, handing out your business cards. Um, I think my problem was like I don't go to businesses a lot. Like I know with the window paintings, I went to like one place and I was like, I don't know if I could do this anymore. So like that's like another goal for this year. Like I have to like actually make the effort and do that so I know I'll have like those jobs to do in the winter. But yeah, so
Yeah, yeah. And I remember we talked a little bit about, oh, first off, Rayanne and Taryn are commenting, our Alaska girls. I
oh, miss you.
know, hello. And then Rayanne mentioned that that's her biggest fear too, is the lack of work in her town. So just that
Yeah.
is totally, totally normal. But sorry, what?
I was gonna say, like, even just like competition, like I'm in New York and there's a lot of artists here, so it can be discouraging a lot too, like seeing so much other work out there. And I'm like, oh well, there's already all these muralists, like why are they gonna ask me to do it? So you just have to know that you are more than capable of doing it. So I think that's
Yeah.
helpful.
Yeah. And I think there's a project out there for everyone too, at whatever
hmm
stage they're at, even. And the main thing that I tell a lot of people, like here locally, is that it's like in the beginning, you're going to get the smaller jobs that are maybe like, 200, 300, and then you get going and you'll get the 400, 500, and you'll get the 1,000. So I tell
hmm
in the beginning, like, I'm like, you're going to get those like smaller jobs that are going to lead to bigger jobs. And I don't want those smaller jobs. So it's like,
Yeah.
even though like, they're looking at other people, or you're looking at other people and saying, oh my God, they're so great. It'd be like, but you might not be going for the same thing. I just interviewed an artist in
hmm
Keith Goodman. He's in Florida, and
Okay.
he doesn't even take $10,000 jobs. He's like,
Oh
yeah,
my
oh yeah,
God.
he does like two jobs a year that are like giant, and those are
Wow.
the ones that he's taking. So yeah,
Good for
they're
him. That's
exactly.
like goals.
I know. So like
Oh
they're just
my
saying
God.
there's a level for everyone, and
hmm
so I always try to explain that because people see people like Keith, and if you want to look him up, anybody wants to look him up on Instagram,
Yeah.
his podcast episodes coming out. He's like ultra realistic, just amazing,
Oh
and
my
you look
God.
at it and you're like, maybe I won't paint today. Maybe
Right. Maybe
he's
this
just
isn't for me, actually.
yes, exactly. Yeah, but yeah, he's just at a different level, and he's attracting a different client than us too. And we're
Right.
attracting our friends too sometimes, like doing nurseries or doing stuff like that or whatnot.
Right. So
Um,
true.
I was gonna go somewhere and I forgot what I was gonna say. So good thing we can edit this later.
Yeah, right.
Like, let's
Like when
see.
Ryan comes in.
Yes. Yes. Um, Gosh dang it, there was something I was gonna say. Oh yeah. Okay, so we had talked a bit about how like it's hard to be consistent, and it's hard, and like it's really easy to be lazy sometimes. What are some of
Yeah.
the things that maybe like have you found that the times where you were kind of slacking a bit, work wasn't coming in, or like how did you get over stuff like that?
Um, that's a tough one. How do you get over slacking? I think you really just have to look at other artists and just see like how much work they're putting into it and just have that be your motivation. Like I was just thinking like before this interview, I'm like, oh, okay, like I'm like you just need to surround yourself with people who are doing better than you because that pushes you to do better too. Like I feel like even just going to the mural meetup, like that's something that would motivate like a bunch of us to get our brains going and ideas flowing. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's just like nice to be surrounded by like-minded people, and that's like a good way to motivate yourself to keep going. I don't
Yeah.
know if I just like went in a circle, but
No, that's totally
okay.
perfect. Yeah, I think that's totally great. And yeah, because there's just something magical that happens too. And even being in person with everybody, I was like overwhelmed, but at the same time, like just so motivated. And even
Right.
like while we were there, I was already like, okay, maybe we could have the next one here, and like maybe we could reach out. I was like already talking about having it again because
Hmm.
it's just there is just some kind of magicness, and not even like instruction from me, just like getting to talk to other people there and be like, oh, I do a leaf this way, and like or even Whitney
Right.
showing people how to do a flower, like just
Yeah,
having
my
all
God.
that.
How did you do that?
Like do it again
My
slower.
flowers are still terrible, but it's fine.
At least you can
I'll
paint a
practice.
boat, like the boat's
Yeah,
behind you.
there you go.
You're like, anybody want a boat?
But I can't paint a simple flower. I don't know. We'll get there.
Yeah, one step at a time. That's awesome. Okay.
I know.
Let's see. We basically gone over most of the questions. I'm trying to think of anything we wanted to add, like in the end. Hmm. Okay, one thing. So I'm currently
Yeah.
putting together a book about getting started in the mural industry
Hmm.
and helping artists to go full time, and
Right.
might mention a few of you guys in there and all the stuff. So is there anything that you've either learned in the academy or on a podcast from someone else, or any
Hmm.
bit of information that you've gotten that I have to include in this book that would help people just go full time, or something that just clicked for you, or
Um, I would say just like remembering that like everyone's at a different pace in life. You can't just because like somebody's older than you or younger than you and they're further ahead doesn't mean that you'll never get there. And I think like you're just like the perfect example of somebody who just like put in the work. And I think if everyone followed your lead to just like just go out there and be like a go-getter. I think that's like the perfect way to go about it. Like you have to be the one to get yourself there where you want to be. So
yeah,
nobody else can do it for you.
yeah, I'm not paying her to say this, guys. If you're
Join the Artist Academy, guys. But seriously.
for this small fee per month, you get like no, yeah,
But
okay.
seriously, like I'd probably go back to being a server if it wasn't for this group because
Oh
I'd just be,
my gosh,
yeah, like it's so discouraging a lot of the time, but like when you see other people doing it, you're like, wow, like it's possible. So I think it's a great group to join. So yeah.
oh thanks, oh okay, good. I'm so glad. Yeah, like I was like even like when we had the mural meetup and all the stuff, I was like, holy
Hmm.
shit! Like if I wouldn't have started this group, I wouldn't have met some of you guys, and I was
Right?
like,
Yeah.
holy, I would have just held myself back because I had the idea for a long time, but I would have missed out on so much of meeting all of you if I hadn't have just tried it. And I
Yeah.
also say it's the same thing for your art business and everybody's art business. Like if you're holding yourself back, you don't even know what the possibilities are and who you can
Yeah.
meet, and the customers, even some of the customers that I met, they're just so great. And
Yeah. Yeah.
there's just so much. But yeah, okay, awesome. Thank you so much for coming on here.
Thanks
And
for having me.
yeah, I will see you again, whether it's
Yes,
a
hopefully
year.
soon.
I know, it's like whether it's a year from now or much sooner, hopefully sooner. Hopefully we
Hopefully
go
sooner.
to Alaska and Florida and all
Alaska.
and Italy and all
Yes.
the things.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, I see Chelsea and Rayanne and Taryn and everybody commenting. So
Hey guys. Oh my
oh,
God. I
and
can't wait.
Jax. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Oh, I miss
Okay.
everyone.
I know. Awesome. Well, till next time. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm sure
All
that
right.
this your
Thanks for
interview
having
is
me.
yeah, I'm sure your
Yeah.
interview is so inspiring to so many people, and I
I
even
hope
you coming on
so.
and like facing a fear of going live even and just like
Yeah.
doing
Yeah.
it like
I have
that.
to do that more.
Yeah,
But
no, it definitely has like a butterfly effect, and like it will get other people. So but
right.
yeah,
All
awesome.
right. Well, enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, that's what I say every time. Okay.
Oh,
No,
sorry. Stole
like,
your line.
oh no, I was like, maybe she's listened to these too much, where I was like, that's what I say. Okay.
My bad. Okay.
Have a great rest of your Monday. Okay,
You too. All right. Bye.
bye.